Dr. Donda C. West gave birth to future prodigy Kanye West in Atlanta, Georgia on June 8, 1977. Donda and Kanye's father, former Black Panther Ray West, ended up divorcing when he was only 3. And so, to support the future Yeezus, Donda worked as a professor of English at Clark Atlanta University. Eventually, Donda and Kanye would end up moving to Chicago, the iconic city that would play a massive role in Kanye's career. Whilst there, Donda was the chair of the English department at the Chicago State University. And eventually, when Kanye was only 10 years old, at one point moving to China, where Donda taught at Nanjing University as part of an exchange program. This kind of global perspective no doubt had a massive effect on a young Kanye. And as Ye grew up with these diverse experiences, Donda would continue to nurture the young Kanye's artistic talents, encouraging him to create throughout his younger years. She nurtured his passions for drawing and music and fashion, eventually paying for Kanye's very first studio session when he was only 13 years old, even going along with him to record his very first tracks in a dingy basement studio. Obviously, we all know eventually Kanye would famously enroll in a Chicago college, the college he would eventually drop out of to pursue music. Naturally, his academic mother Donda wasn't too pleased about this. But as we all know, Kanye, the goddamn musical prodigy that he would go on to be, would eventually go on to prove his decision right, naturally making his mother Donda proud with all of his success. And as Kanye's star shone brighter and brighter, the talent that Donda had nurtured took Kanye's career right to the stratosphere. Dr. Donda West herself would later retire from academia, going on to become her son's manager. And as Kanye continued down the path of greatness that his mother had nurtured him to be on, he would go from strength to strength, dropping iconic album after iconic album. The College Dropout, Late Registration, the album which actually included the track Hey Mama, a heartfelt tribute to his mother Donda. That project was of course followed up by Graduation, and in a way, at least Kanye's mum got to see him graduate metaphorically as a successful artist and superstar. Who cares about dropping out of college when you're top in the Billboard charts? And Donda West deserves a whole lot of credit for birthing and raising this monstrous megastar. Hell, she even ended up writing a book about her experience raising one of the most iconic musicians of all time, publishing her parental memoir, Raising Kanye.
It's doing very well. It tells all about, raising Kanye, starting with before he was born, all the way up through him being in school and the kinds of little mischievous things that he got into.
In 2007, things were paradise for the West family. Kanye and Donda's careers were both on fire. And at the time, Kanye's relationship with his longtime fiancée Alexis Pfeiffer was also going great. They'd been together since 2002, with Kanye on track to tie the knot with a good, down-to-earth woman who was there from the start and could keep a young, newly famous Kanye grounded and in check. And naturally, Donda was also a big fan of Kanye's missus too.
She's beautiful inside and out. She's so talented. She's a great businesswoman. I am so lucky that she's going to be my daughter-in-law.
However, unfortunately, in 2007, the West family would suffer an unexpected tragedy. This would leave Kanye a broken man, never to be the same again. And it's this incident that might just explain Kanye's decade-plus long spiral of despair and bad decisions. In November 2007, Dr. Donda West went in for elective surgery, specifically an abdominoplasty, aka a tummy tuck, liposuction, and a breast reduction. She was essentially trying to get a better looking body for when she was walking around Beverly Hills with her famous son. And with all the pressure, paparazzi, and body shaming going on, who could blame her? So she seeked out the best plastic surgeon that she could find, eventually finding who she believed to be the right man for the job, Dr. Jan Adams, a celebrity surgeon who had apparently even had his own plastic surgery show on Discovery Health called Plastic Surgery Before and After. So he was no stranger to the limelight or TV experience.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jan Adams, a plastic and reconstructive surgeon here in Beverly Hills, California. Things that go wrong don't go wrong that day. They generally go wrong 2 weeks after, a month after.
So Donda West went under the knife in the care of Dr. Jan Adams, and according to a later report, Donda West walked out of the clinic after 5.5 hours of surgery, being given a prescription for the painkiller Vicodin. Donda West chose to recover from her surgery at home, apparently against medical advice which had encouraged her to receive post-operative care at an inpatient facility. She was allegedly placed under the care of family members, specifically Kanye's cousin Stephen Scoggins, who received his nursing license in 1990 and held an advanced degree in public health. However, the degree to which Scoggins took responsibility for Donda's care has been debated, and it was later reported that there was no documentation of nursing being administered following Donda's arrival home, with it later being suggested that basic things like temperature readings weren't taken. Whilst recovering at home, she apparently experienced a sore throat, pain, and a tight chest as the day went on. And apparently, Scoggins even later said that Donda had told him if she'd have known she'd have been in so much pain following the surgery, she wouldn't have had it done.
She even said, "Child, If I had known it was going to hurt that much, I would have just wobbled my big ass around Hollywood.
Anywho, Scoggins allegedly stayed overnight with Donda, along with 2 other people identified as caregivers. And apparently the following morning, Stephen Scoggins left the house, later telling officials that he believed Donda had been well and he had intended to return later that evening.
We laughed and talked and ate breakfast. I left. Before leaving, I said, you know what, Aunt Donda? I think I'm gonna come back tonight. She said, oh, I would love that.
Unfortunately, in his absence, a tragedy would occur. Whilst Donda West had been left unattended, at some point later in the early evening, she became unresponsive and was found sometime later. Those 2 women who were still in the house, the caregivers, were apparently Donda's personal assistant and her best friend. They frantically called 911 in a hysterical state, and that harrowing 911 call was eventually released, with it sounding like those on the scene failed to follow the clear instructions of the 911 dispatcher and failing to give Donda West CPR in an appropriate amount of time, sadly dashing any last-minute hopes that Donda West might be saved.
Fire department paramedics, what's the address emergency, please?
She just had surgery. She just had breast.
Give me the address first, ma'am. Ma'am? Tell me what happened. Ma'am, what is the problem? Tell me exactly what happened.
I can hear you.
What happened? Why are you calling?
Because she's having a heart attack, and she's dying, she's not breathing, and she's not moving. I'm trying to do CPR.
Ma'am, how old is this person?
She's 58 years old.
58?
She's had surgery.
Okay, 58. Now, you're doing CPR?
Then we get ready to start.
Ma'am, is she not breathing at all?
We gave her medication. She complained she couldn't breathe.
Ma'am, okay, so she's not... Ma'am, she's not breathing?
She can't breathe.
Okay, is she breathing?
No, she's not.
She's not breathing?
No, she threw up all this black stuff around her mouth, and we trying to do CPR on her.
Okay, so she's not breathing at all?
She's not responding.
Okay, but I want to know if she's breathing. Is she breathing at all?
She's cold and clammy.
Okay, ma'am, is she breathing?
No, I said the mirror.
Okay, did you need... Let me go ahead and give you... Ma'am, do you need instruction on CPR?
Hey, we need a heavy board. Give me a heavy board.
Ma'am, we've already got people on the way to you, okay?
Huh?
Ma'am, are you on speakerphone? If you can put me on regular phone, that'd be better.
We're on regular phone.
Okay, ma'am, is she... Okay, so are you doing CPR at this time?
No, we get ready to start.
Okay, do you need instructions? I can tell you what to do.
Take this off, lift her head.
Okay, we want to lay her flat on the ground, no pillows, nothing underneath of her head.
I can't move her from the bed. She just has to...
Is she in a hospital bed? Ma'am, is she in a hospital bed?
Huh?
Is she in a hospital bed?
Huh? Come on. Come on. Listen, be careful.
Ma'am, is she in a hospital bed?
Come on. Sorry?
Is she in a hospital bed?
Huh?
Is she in a hospital
No,
bed?
she's in a regular bed.
A regular bed?
Yes.
There's no way to get her on the floor?
No, there's no way we can put her on the floor. Can we clear her airway? We're trying to clear her airway.
We've already got... Okay, what you want to do is turn her on her left side. Okay, did you hear that?
I'm clearing out her...
Okay, turn her on her left side.
No, I don't feel a pulse.
So, after asking all of those times whether or not she's breathing, it's eventually established that she's not even in a proper hospital bed. Another indication that she clearly wasn't getting the proper recovery and care she needed in her vulnerable state. And from here, the women in the room continue to do everything except follow the advice of the medical professional on the other end of the phone.
Ma'am,
Yes.
okay, you need to listen to what I'm telling you. The other person is making so you can't hear me. You need to turn her on her left side.
Turn it on her left side. Turn on her left side. Right, left, on this side. This side.
Okay, that way the fluid will run out of her mouth. Just get any fluid, anything that's in her mouth, just go ahead and get it out. Take a towel, use your finger, just get it out of her mouth.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, is all of it out of her mouth now?
Yes.
Okay, what I want you to do is lay her flat on her back again.
She's on her back.
Okay, is she flat on the bed?
She's flat on the bed.
Okay, no pillows, nothing underneath of her head.
Huh?
No pillows, nothing underneath of her head.
Turn her that way. This way. Yeah, because she rolled like a bed. Dr. West.
Ma'am, no pillows underneath of her head.
Does she have a pulse? Does she have a pulse?
Ma'am, this is a regular house? This is a house?
Yeah, we're in the house.
Okay, does anybody there know CPR? I hear
We
several...
can ready to start CPR now.
Okay.
At this point, one of the women on the scene begins to hyperventilate, and suddenly, all the attention is on her, rather than Donda West's true medical emergency, as the person on the phone inexplicably seems to put all of their focus on making sure that the hysterical person with them is breathing, rather than the person in danger.
What they want, does anybody know how?
Now, don't you dare have to deal. Let me sit down. Breathe. Take, breathe. 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 Oh, shit.
noise.
No, that's please.
I can't hear what you're saying. Your phone,
I can't hear you.
you know, your phone's cutting out.
Huh?
Your phone's cutting out. Okay, is the person breathing?
No, she's not.
Okay, is anybody doing anything for her?
We're doing CPR.
Okay, are you doing it?
You doing CPR?
Okay, does anybody know how? That's what I've already asked you. What you
Breathe,
need?
open her mouth, tilt her head back and start breathing her
Ma'am,
mouth.
okay, hold on, ma'am. Let me tell you how to do this. You need to listen. You're not listening to what I'm telling you. You're not helping the person at all.
Now, wait a minute. Talk up to 911 now.
Have the other people be quiet so I can tell you what to do. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, lay her flat on her back.
She's going to fly her back.
Okay, no pillows, nothing underneath of her head.
There's no pillows underneath
Okay,
her
put
head.
one hand under her neck, one hand on her forehead. You want to tilt her head back.
Huh? Okay, one hand underneath here.
One hand under her neck, one hand on her forehead, and tilt her head back.
One hand on her forehead, tilt her neck back. Okay. What? Okay.
Okay, do you see anything in her mouth? Is there any food or vomit, anything?
Any vomit? There's just some black. No. Black stuff. Just black stuff.
Okay, if you have a towel or something, maybe you can just wipe it out of the way.
In our mouth. We did clean her mouth out.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now with her head tilted back, one hand under her neck, one hand on her forehead.
One hand on the forehead, one hand underneath the neck.
Tilt her head back
Tilt her
again.
head back.
Listen, put your ear by her mouth and nose. Do you
Put your
hear
ear
any
by her
air
mouth
going
and nose.
in and out?
Okay.
Is there any air going in or out?
Yeah, she's blowing some. Make sure her mouth is.
Okay, is there air going in and
Is
out?
her air going in and out? Her air is not going in and out.
No, okay.
After being on the phone with the 911 dispatcher for more than 5 minutes and not following instructions, the person on the phone finally checks to see if Donda West is breathing, and she is not. Only at this point, after at least 5 minutes of not breathing, do those on the phone suggest that they begin to do CPR. But again, they fail to follow instructions as the frustrated dispatcher desperately tries to get them to listen.
What I want you to do, I'm going to tell you how to do mouth to mouth. I want you to go ahead and, again, tilt her head back,
Tilt her head back.
pinch her nose closed.
Tilt her close her nose.
You need to tilt her head back and then pinch her nose closed.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cover her mouth with your mouth and blow 2 regular breaths of air.
Two breaths in her
2
mouth.
breaths of air. One per second.
One per second.
Make sure her chest rises with each breath.
Huh?
Make sure her chest rises with each breath.
No, her chest is not rising. Wait.
Okay, did they do a breath already?
Take a deep breath and blow 2 short breaths in her mouth.
About one each second.
One each second.
You want to make sure her chest rises with each breath.
Okay.
Okay,
No.
Is her chest going up or down?
No, nothing.
Okay, then try tilting her head back a little bit more. Pinch her nose closed.
Pinch your nose closed.
Okay, and tilt her head back a little bit more, and two more breaths of air.
Uh-huh. Is her mouth clear? Yes.
Okay, a nice tight seal on her mouth, and 2 more breaths of air, ma'am.
Two more breaths. I hear paramedics coming over.
So they're on their way. We've already sent them.
I hear her little gurgle.
Okay, did air go in when she breathed into her?
Push twice gently on her.
Ma'am, did her chest rise with each breath?
No. Gently.
Okay, well, they need to, either they're not blowing hard enough, because if there's any fluid left, you got to blow through it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. There's no fluid. Clear.
There could be something in her, down in her throat.
Clear her. Yeah, her mouth is clear. We're clearing her mouth now.
Okay. If there's anything in her mouth, we just need to blow through it if you can't get it out. Okay?
We're bringing the chin up. Tilt her head back some more.
And tilt her head back just a little bit more. If that doesn't work, then we're going to start doing compression.
Okay.
Cover her mouth with yours. Pinch her nose closed. Pinch her nose closed. Cover her mouth with yours. 2 breaths of air, 1 per second.
Okay.
Okay, did the air go in? Did you see her chest rise with each breath?
Now.
Are they inside?
The call ends abruptly as the emergency services arrive to the scene around 7:35 p.m, with TMZ reporting that both fire and ambulance services responded to the scene. Donda West was taken into the ER unresponsive and pronounced dead less than an hour later at 8:30 p.m. on the 12th of November 2007.